Welcome to the Saturday edition of The Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath and joined by Mark Olmers. Mark, 8 races to take a look at, and I'm really looking forward to the last two where we see, I think, potential Ascot stars coming up when we come back again with Touch of Silver and also State Solicitor.
Yes, welcome to all our viewers. It is an excellent quaddie actually, Adam, those last 4 races, but in particular the main event, race 7, as you mentioned, Touch of Silver, and then State Solicitor returning off only being beaten a length in the Winterbottom, so really looking forward to those two.
Let's take a look at the conditions that we are going to be faced with. The movable rail is out 3 metres, only some light winds expected, so should be pretty fair racing as well. I think they'll be able to run on, and another good day as you can see in Perth. Let's get straight into it, Mark. Race number 1, it's over the 1200 metres, an event for the 2-year-olds, and there's a few last start winners in this.
Yes, there is, Adam, but one in particular we'll have a look at, the Darren McAuliffe trained filly by Sebring Art Series.
Soon just trying to find a run between horses, beginning to pick up, and they're followed by the force within Teacher's Pet. Further back in the field, 200 left to go. Roganella hit the front, down on the inside. Art Series though getting through. Art Series, Roganella. It's Roganella joined by Art Series who reaches the lead. Art Series, Roganella, and Piker's got home on
It's a nice performance by Art Series. Of course, we'd seen her have 2 runs last prep and she'd been wide in both of those. They finally drew a gate here, and they looked to be in a little bit of trouble at the top of the straight. Just needed an opening while Roganella had got a run down the outside. But this horse, when the gap appeared, was able to show a nice turn of foot and won easily, and they gapped the rest of the field, which I thought was really good. But when you go and take a look at these form lines, I think there's the one I've got on top is Vital Dancer, and these two met in a trial. I thought Vital Dancer did a lot easier than Art Series did in that trial. Now, she might have improved from that race experience as well and being a filly, but I really do lead towards the Brett Pope trained Vital Dancer in this race.
There was a lot to like about Art Series when she did dig in, and as you mentioned, Roganella pulled out on the turn, as you saw in the replay. Looked like it was going to go straight past them, but Art Series fought on very nicely. Would have loved to have seen her out to 1400 metres, but unfortunately the way the programming is, there just aren't any of those races for the juveniles. But I'm with you, Adam. Number 2, Vital Dancer. The time was very, very good at Pinjarra, even though it was a small field. Unlike Little Hercules, which comes off that 4-runner field, the time not that great. So I'm leaning towards Vital Dancer as well, Adam. You're on top selection.
Yeah, number 2 for me, Vital Dancer from 4 Art Series, 7 Teacher's Pet and 5 Rock or Bust.
The exact same numbers. Number 2 on top for me as well, Vital Dancer from number 4 Art Series, 7 Teacher's Pet and 5 Rock or Bust.
Race number 2 at Ascot, it's an event for the 3-year-olds over the 1600 metres, and again, Mark, a smallish field, but there's a lot of class in it.
Yes, and another last start winner, Adam. We speak of course, number 2, One Short beating Night Beat.
After straightening though, and he has gone for home, 250 to travel. One Short is starting to run on, and so is the filly Royal Missile, closing down the outside as One Short hits the lead from Wrigley. Royal Missile getting home along the inside. Night Beat prize catch, but One Short had stolen the march on them. One Short got there from Night Beat.
Well, Steve Wolf has 2 runners in this race, and McGruddy rode both of them last start. He sticks with the last start winner, which you'd expect with One Short, as it was a really nice performance there. This horse was keen through the early stages, and then you get to see the way it really stepped through the gears and motored through the line. Now, Royal Missile had every opportunity to beat One Short in this race, was on the back and just didn't have the same letdown. It does get a 2-kilo swing, the filly, but I'm still leaning to One Short here. I think the 1600 metres is going to be ideal. There won't be a crazy amount of speed in it, with Wrinkly probably leading, and it can probably sit on the outside and just relax a little bit easier. So I think Wolf can go back to back here with this horse.
A couple of things in the favour of the stable of One Short and minus looks as well. The Steve Wolf yards just about hit some really nice form. Number 4 Royal Missile, I think the only saving grace for her here, why punters will give her another go, is out to 1600 metres. But as you said, Adam, I thought it's been a bit disappointing in her first 2 runs, and we thought would be a bit better last start. This is probably her last chance to show punters that she still wants to race and is a genuine type of filly. Down the bottom there, number 7, Ravelli, a really nicely related daughter of High Chaparral, gets the blinkers on for the first time, and 1600 metres again suits.
People may jump off her because of losing that last start to Time to Hunt, and look, you could probably watch that race and be disappointed, but with the rail at 15 metres, the way the conditions were, it was not the race you wanted to be in if you were Ravelli. It was a lose-lose type of situation. You come back here to where the rail's out 3 metres, some nice tempo with Wrinkly, the blinkers on, and William Pike on board as well. If she's at $5 plus, I'm backing her in this race. It's as simple as that. I don't have her on top, it'll be the way my money goes. I'm going to tip number 2, One Short from 4 Royal Missile, which gets every chance with that 2-kilo swing, 7 Ravelli and 5 Elegant Blast.
Yes, 7 Ravelli, 7 on top here for me. Ravelli from number 5 Elegant Blast, 1 Wrinkly and 4 Royal Missile.
Race number 3 at Ascot. It's another event for the 3-year-olds. It's over the 1,000 metres, and again, there's class everywhere in a small field.
Yes, Adam. We'll have a look at Snow Lord. Not last start winning, but the start before running second. Keep an eye out for Dainty Tess and Cramden as well.
Cramden railed beautifully, led the way from Miss Somebody. Scalpel on the outside, Pike looking for the way clear with Snow Lord. Glimmer Girl's coming down the outside though from Dainty Tess at the 250. Glimmer Girl and Scalpel in the middle. Snow Lord getting a late rails run, but Glimmer Girl had hit the front. Dainty Tess charging late, but Glimmer Girl back in distance, too good. Glimmer Girl beats Snow Lord.
Nice performance by Snow Lord, and even last start with the win as well. What I like with this horse is it's just starting to settle at the races. We've seen the universal rule of gallopers can take a little bit of time. Alana and William Pike both said after the race that this horse is probably starting to look for that 1100 and 1200 metres because he is able to settle now and relax. There's no issue staying at the 1000 with the form lines. 3 attempts at the track and distance, 2 victories in a second. Be very hard to beat.
It's quite amazing to think that they want to get him over extra ground because his 1000 metre times are outstanding, and in this race it's a standout pick with the speed on, as you mentioned. Looks to be a very, very suitable race. Number 5 there, Solorski, returns after a little freshen up. He's 2 from 2 and he's just working through his grades very nicely. I think Jeff Noski knows what he's got at home, and this horse will go on to bigger and better things.
Well, I would suggest that Jared Noski would have been offered the ride on G Boss despite Aaron Mitchell trialling at last start, and I think this is just a clear example of Jared knowing how good this horse is. It's 2 from 2. It's shown its brilliance so far. A little bit worried about coming into the race without a trial, but the 1000 metres, I think brilliance will be enough to see this horse get the job done.
Number 2, G Boss, you mentioned there, Adam. We remember it on debut back at Belmont last year and it was outstanding, and won a few starts ago as well, but I still think he's a little bit off these, but he can run a nice race because he'll make his own luck out in front.
It was a good performance on debut and was fat on that occasion, and then I just don't think it had the weight go its right way. It gets it here. Meets Dainty Tess 2.5 kilos for losing to it by a long head, and meets Solorski 2.5 kilos better for a 4-length of feet. So I don't think it can turn the tables on Solorski, but I do think it will be Dainty Tess home. I'm going to tip number 5 Solorski from 2 G Boss, 1 Dainty Tess and 3 Snow Lord.
3 Snow Lord on top for me from number 2 G Boss, 5 Solorski and 1 Dainty Tess.
Race number 4 at Ascot. It's a 72 plus event over the 2200 metres mark. We talked about the class coming up a little bit later in the quaddie with the likes of Touch of Silver and also State Solicitor, but there's one in this race that is just progressing nicely and showed it can stay.
Yeah, this is one on the up, isn't it, Adam? Pushing Shapes we speak of. Let's have a look at him winning the Narrogin Cup.
Beaten, they come around the corner now, 300 metres left to go. Pushing Shapes out wide on the track. He accelerated up and he took the lead from Speed and Reef. Wayside battling on then, 1 all, Galimba Blaskin, Barry's Rabbit, but Pushing Shapes, the cup's all over. Away he goes, a brilliant win here to Pushing Shapes, wins untouched.
Really nice performance on this occasion. Now, I don't think we can get too far ahead of ourselves. It did beat Barry's Rabbit, which is a midweek runner at best, who's been going around on Wednesdays and hasn't even been winning all of those. So, look, the form lines aren't sensational when you're going straight to a 72 plus, but it's just the way this horse does it. It travels nicely. It's got that brilliant turn of foot. It's got a good record at Ascot as well. I think Joey Azzopardi is building up a really good rapport with this galloper. It goes up in weight significantly now, carrying the 58 kilos, but I think it's good enough to still win this race.
Took the words right out of my mouth there, Adam, because just the way he does it. He was back near last on that occasion, the Narrogin Cup, just swept around them pretty much on the bit, and Joe Azzopardi asked for the effort and he drew away very, very nicely. We've also got their number 5, Caleb Bazaar. This horse has hit some great form. He's actually got really good times under his belt over these staying trips and just looks to get the gun run once again in behind the leader.
My biggest concern about coming into the next race after winning those 2 in a row was going to be the weight. But when you go through this form and you take a look at when it's met horses like Warzar, pre-selection, these types, it meets them better in the weights for beating in previous runs too. So Claire Bazaar is actually one of the weight specialists in this race. I think this horse can definitely win and make it 3 in a row.
We've also got in the race there, Adam, number 3 there, Woodsville. I really liked its effort out in front last start. Stuck on very nicely. The big worry is, as we always say, the step up in distance.
Yeah, look, that is definitely the case, and we have to stay with our form lines. We always like to see a horse have a run, but I have been waiting for this horse to get over 2,000 metres plus. I'm really surprised, and credit has to go to Brian Kersey that he's got this horse to place over 1,400 and 1,600 metres, because you've never seen a horse have less turn of foot than Woodsville has, but it's just been honest out in front. I think it'll be really suited in a race like this. Can take the lead up if they decide to, with a ready to fire. Just roll out in front. You know this horse is going to stay all day. We've seen it before, so looking forward to seeing how it does go over this trip. But I'm going to go with number 2, Pushing Shapes, the replay horse. From 1, Dark Musket, number 5, Caleb Bazaar, and 4, Warzar.
I've got number 5 on top here, Caleb Bazaar. From number 2, Pushing Shapes, 3, Woodsville, and 4, Warzar.